Next guest is bullish on stocks based on a V-shaped recovery. Linda Duessel, equity market strategist over at Federated Investment Management, joining us right now from her office in Pittsburgh with her outlook for the markets. Linda, great to have you back on Street Smart. We've been talking about a lot of issues. China, Greece, certainly something we're watching closely. What is it that you think investors need to know about those two situations specifically?
Well, I think that we've been talking about Greece and China for weeks and weeks on end, really. I think what they need to understand is that the most important question is what's going on here in America. And from our point of view at Federated Investors, the next move up in the stock market will be probably as a result of the earnings reports that start out next week.
You know what? I can understand you want us to talk more about what's going on here at home rather than what's going on overseas, and it probably should have fundamentally more importance in the stock market. But we do see whenever China even signals that it's about to put the brakes on its economy, U.S. markets tank in advance of that.
Yes, I agree with you, and same thing holds true for whenever something happens over in Greece. But when we step back and look at the big picture, and we realize, just as you said at the top of the hour, we're 6 weeks in a row now with positive results on the market. We're at a new high today on the market, and we have to be careful to not to go too far too fast, and probably need an excuse to pull back some. I understand China is a very important question, but more important than what goes on in China is what goes on here in the United States. The same thing for Greece. What happens in Greece, as we know, smaller in size than Citigroup itself, is what it means to sovereign debt issues and our own problems that we will have here in the U.S. And I think that's the more important thing to talk about, because we all kind of know that they will be bailed out in some fashion over time, and austerity measures will occur, and it will probably carry on through Europe.
All right, fair enough, Linda. So let's go back to focusing here on the United States. You mentioned earnings earlier. Will earnings provide the necessary momentum to keep stocks moving higher, or will that maybe provide a moment for investors to take pause and maybe see somewhat of a correction?
Well, it's an interesting question now, because as we approach S&P 1250, that should be a really tough level to pierce through on the upside. That's one thing. Now, we're starting into this first quarter's earnings season in a quarter where, from the beginning of the quarter to the end of the quarter, analysts have actually raised earnings estimates, and you hadn't seen that since the second quarter of 2007. And your Denny research indicates that if you go all the way back to 2000, you only saw them having to raise estimates throughout a quarter 9 times, and 8 of those times they actually surprised during the quarter. The question is, will they surprise on earnings that continue to move up?
Okay.
And we think they probably will.
All right, we got to run. Hey, Linda, have a great weekend. Good to get some time with you. Linda Duessel at Federated Investment Management.